Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Froggy Fresh and Creator Clash. This is a pretty big deal that's been unfolding in especially the commentary scene here on YouTube and here on Twitter over the last, I would say, about 16 hours. So I'm going to assume I'm going to have to give a decent amount of context here for you guys. So there's a influencer boxing event that has now been taking place. I think this is the second rendition of it now. It's ran by iDubbbz and Anissa, who I think it's like his girlfriend or his fiance or something. They're in a relationship, but they obviously, you know who iDubbbz is if you've watched YouTube or commentary for a while. They've been putting on this Creator Clash boxing event where, you know, like there's a couple different matchups. You know, they'll have like people in the YouTube community box, influencers from other platforms even sometimes will get in the mix a little bit. Like, for instance, in the upcoming fight, this is a couple of the fights that were slated. They had like, for instance, well, the fight we were going to be talking about today is the Froggy Fresh versus Chris Raygun fight. Alex Wasabi and iDubbbz is the main event. Starkilla and Dad are fighting. There's like Myth and Hundar, Jarvis Johnson and Aaron Hansen, you know, just some influencers and streamers or content creators, whatever you say, boxing each other, right? It's been like a trend over the last few years, YouTube and influencer boxing. It's taking place April 15th in Tampa, Florida. The first one was decently successful. It actually had a decent amount of influencers fight / participate in it in some way. But there's unfortunately been a lot of controversy around Creator Clash 2 now, as Froggy Fresh has been removed from the lineup. And in my opinion, I think it's a pretty unjust and ridiculous removal. And honestly, I think this is a pretty major L for iDubbbz and for the people who are running the Creator Clash event. And I'm going to explain why I think this in this video. So, Froggy Fresh and Chris Raygun were slated to box on the undercard of Creator Clash 2. The main event, like I said, was supposed to be, or will be, I should say, Alex Wasabi and iDubbbz. Now, me personally, I didn't really pay attention to the first Creator Clash all too much, but this one I was actually going to watch because of Froggy Fresh. Now, if you don't know who Froggy Fresh is, or even Chris Raygun, who I also really like, Froggy Fresh is a YouTube OG. The guy has made hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of all of our lives better with his music with Moneymaker Mike back in the day. He's been featured on Tosh.0. He's just a viral sensation, you know, like a bunch of people should know who Froggy Fresh is. Like, this guy was so big back in the day. I remember back in middle school, we would like just be randomly, you know, I am the baddest of them all. Everyone was singing Froggy Fresh. Like, this dude was huge. He was everywhere. So today, I guess I'm standing up for a YouTube OG because I feel like he was unjustly taken off of this card of the fight. So over the last couple days, Froggy Fresh has posted, I guess, some controversial stuff to his Twitter to promote his fight with Chris Raygun. Now, obviously, in boxing, if you really know anything about combat sports in general, one of the big things that happens before a fight, you know, in the weeks leading up to it, the fighters often smack talk, you know, they say outlandish things, they insult one another, they threaten one another, you know, they'll go face to face for the cameras and whatnot at a podium. Basically, you build up the fight and you promote the fight by talking shit to one another. Oh, hey, I'm gonna knock your lights out, hey, I'm gonna kill you with one punch, I'm gonna break you down like fucking Legos with a right hook. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta talk a little bit of smack, right? That's just part of it, you know? It happens in UFC, it happens in boxing, MMA, it happens all over the place. Like, that's just part of combat sports. You know, you talk a little bit of shit because it raises the stakes and it makes it more entertaining to watch. So Froggy Fresh, you know, he took to his Twitter and he made this video.
There seems to be substantial evidence that Chris Raygun is now on Adderall. Well, young man, amphetamines couldn't save Hitler, and they can't save you either. On April 15th, if I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans.
Alright, so most of us would watch that video, if you're like me at least, and, you know, you didn't even think twice about anything that was said in it, you know? First I thought maybe the Hitler comment was what really drew people's ire, but actually what the problem was here is him making a joke about buying Anissa's OnlyFans. Now remember, Anissa is iDubbbz's girlfriend or whatever, right? And she has an OnlyFans page, and if you know a little bit of the iDubbbz lore over the last few years, people online have been bullying him, calling him a cuck, telling him he's getting cucked by an OnlyFans model, because in a couple different situations, it seems like Anissa has kind of like stepped over iDubbbz in a way and quote unquote made decisions for him. That's a lot of like what people seem to think. They think that he's basically like pussy whipped to this woman, and it's made him change. Like even recently he was talking about how like he didn't really like his old fans essentially because they, you know, played into like the whole N-word part of his content and stuff, and they were, you know, like terminally online, I guess is a good way to put it. I don't know. But anyway, obviously Froggy Fresh was making a joke. This is not, I think, a very serious comment, but apparently to some people, this is just fucking like pressing the nuclear button and just unleashing the entire arsenal, because a couple people were pretty upset about this. One of them being actually Anissa's mom, or iDubbbz's mother-in-law or whatever, who took to Twitter and actually said some pretty shitty things to Froggy Fresh, in my opinion. But Anissa, her mom, basically openly on Twitter, this Pied Piper account you're seeing, called for Froggy Fresh to be, she pretty much directly calls for him to be replaced in the fight because of the joke. And it's pretty interesting that that's exactly what happened. But the mother-in-law ends up like deactivating her Twitter because everyone starts calling her out for talking shit to Froggy Fresh, and he's talking shit to her. But obviously, you know, like I said, Froggy Fresh is now taken off the event after all this happened. You know, he made a joke about OnlyFans, got in a little argument with Anissa's mom, who was calling him an imp and calling for him to be banned, or removed from the event, I should say. And then suddenly we get an announcement just yesterday from Creator Clash's official Twitter that says, "There's been a change in the lineup and Froggy Fresh will no longer be fighting against Chris Raygun. We will announce his replacement in the coming days. With just 3 weeks left, the countdown to Creator Clash 2 has begun." Now, immediately, pretty much, this was just not gonna go good for them, because not only is Froggy Fresh a YouTube OG that people love, but he was one of the, I would say, main attractions to this fight. For me personally, I don't care about the iDubbbz fight. I don't care about any of the other fights. I wanted to see Froggy Fresh. This guy looks like a fucking tank now. I like Chris Raygun. I was actually interested in seeing that matchup. They actually seem to be like in the same weight and height class, so it was, I would say, a decently even fight. And apparently now it's not happening. Chris Raygun, if he does stick around to fight, will be fighting a new opponent. But this obviously didn't go over well. People were pissed, and you can tell because they immediately, before they even got the tweet out, turned off the comments. People were not allowed to comment on this from the jump. But obviously, people ratioed them with the quote tweets, completely shredding them. A lot of YouTubers, especially in the commentary scene, have now started speaking out in defense of Froggy Fresh, calling for him to be reinstated onto the card. Now, let me point something out about this whole Creator Clash event, right? This is actually a charity event, so proceeds from this event will be donated to charity. So Froggy Fresh and a lot of these other creators, they're there because, well, they get to fight for charity. They get to get their name out there a little bit more, you know? But ultimately, this is for charity. And I know I said that a lot just now, but I'll say it 3 more times. Charity, 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 right? But this has pure intentions, you know, for like Froggy Fresh. He really cares about the fact that this is for charity, and he's made that very clear. Even after being removed from the lineup, he has repeatedly mentioned that this was all for charity, and he was doing this because it's a charitable event. And he even had, I would say, a pretty noble cause picked out for, you know, what he would want charity money to go towards from this event. And actually, the charities that he submitted directly help children with cancer. So essentially, he's now removed from an event, and proceeds are now being taken from children with cancer, all because Froggy Fresh made a joke that the creators of the event didn't like. Now, like I said, this didn't necessarily go over well, but they actually doubled down. Creator Clash actually doubled down on this. Creator Clash's goal is to make an inclusive and fun environment for creators and fans while giving back to charity. That's always been our mission, and Froggy Fresh's recent behavior does not align with that mission. We look forward to sharing this positive experience on April 15th. Alright, so 3 main goals. Inclusive environment, fun environment, giving back to charity. Apparently, Froggy Fresh's recent behavior does not really show that this is what he's interested in, even though one of the only things he's mentioned after even being removed from the fight is, I wanted to do this for children with cancer charities. So that's one of 3 goals that he's fulfilling. A fun environment for creators and fans. I think that most of us would agree, part of the fun of combat sports and fighting is the shit talking. And one of the arguments I've seen, Anissa is not actually related to anyone that he's fighting. That's iDubbbz's girl, so it was an unnecessary attack. He was making a fucking offhanded joke about an OnlyFans account, dude. Like, is it really that serious? I don't know, man. Like, OnlyFans people get jokes all the fucking time. Like, there are so many women who are doing OnlyFans, you know, that are making a bunch of money. And no, most people don't really have a problem with it. Like, I don't give a fuck. If you can make $30,000 a month showing pictures of your butthole, why do I care? But if you can't take a simple fucking joke about it, man, like, it's insane. It's actually even crazier because iDubbbz, one of the big parts, one of the big focal points of his content back in the day, was shitting on and harping on all these fucking commentary creators and all these people on YouTube because they couldn't take criticism. But then one person on his fighting event makes a fucking offhanded joke about his girlfriend's OnlyFans, and he's suddenly just removed from the event. It's incredible. He went around for years making fun of and fucking with people for not being able to take criticism, but a minor joke about OnlyFans is enough to, you know, throw away hundreds of thousands of dollars to charity. And the reason we know this is hundreds of thousands of dollars is because Gideon actually stepped up and said that if Froggy Fresh was reinstated to the event, he would donate $100,000 to charity on top of the proceeds from the event. So I guess to Anissa and iDubbbz, you know, an OnlyFans joke is worth throwing away 6 figures to charity over. So that really makes me think you give a fuck about charity. That really makes me think you care about entertainment and fun. So I don't know. I just feel like the excuse that they've given is so fucking corporate and it's just not real. Like, I get that they've probably got sponsors and like money on the line. They gotta be a little professional, but dude, the excuse is clearly bullshit. Now, there is an alternative theory as to why Froggy Fresh may have actually been kicked off of the platform of being on Creator Clash 2. So iDubbbz and Sam Hyde actually have a, I would say, pretty public issue with one another, right? Sam Hyde and iDubbbz, iDubbbz tried to make, you know, one of his like documentary videos, I guess, with Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde realized that iDubbbz was kind of there, I guess, to like corner him on some of his more, I would say, controversial stuff. He kind of flipped the script on iDubbbz and kind of clowned him for the content. iDubbbz lost control of the situation. He's not used to that, and he's been acting different ever since. But because he had that issue with Sam Hyde, you know, anyone who really kind of affiliates with Sam Hyde, iDubbbz suddenly has like a problem with, right? Coincidentally, Froggy Fresh spent a week training with Sam Hyde recently, you know, training and fighting and whatnot for his matchup. And once again, suddenly now Froggy Fresh is off the cards. So the two leading theories now is it was a removal because of the joke about OnlyFans, or it was a removal because he affiliates with Sam Hyde. Either way, I think that's completely fucking ridiculous. Now, iDubbbz doesn't have to like Sam Hyde. I'm not sitting here saying he's gotta love the dude or whatever, but like I said, to throw away 6 figures plus to charity for children with cancer because one person out of the like 16 people fighting on your card made an offhanded joke about your girlfriend's fucking OnlyFans account and trained with a guy you don't like for a week center. He's not even hanging out with iDubbbz training with him, like doing it in his own private time, right? That's enough to throw that away? I don't know. To me, that makes me think they don't really give a fuck about the charity part of the event, and they don't really care about the entertainment aspect because the fans on Twitter have very clearly been against removing Froggy Fresh from the event. I have seen maybe like 2 people altogether supporting removing him. So I don't get it, you know? Like, the fans want to see Froggy Fresh there. The community wants to see Froggy Fresh there. I've already seen people talking about, oh, you know, like me and my friends, we were supposed to go to the event. Now they're talking about, oh, we want refunds for our tickets because we're not going to see Froggy Fresh. I mean, I'm definitely not paying for a pay-per-view for an event like this now. The only fight I was interested in is ruined, so I don't know, man. I do want to make some good of this, although not only am I going to openly call for Froggy Fresh to be reinstated on Creator Clash 2, if he isn't reinstated, I believe Keemstar and Happy Punch Promo and people like that are trying to get him another fight off that card. So hopefully Froggy Fresh will get to fight because he's been working for it. He's been putting in the effort. He's obviously been excited to do it. And to be just, you know, unprofessionally, I feel like kicked off of the event weeks before it's set to take place, after you've done all this training, is a complete spit in the face. And it's just disrespectful and corny, in my opinion. But hey, I guess that's what happens when the content cop fucking switches up on himself. I don't know. It just isn't a good look. I don't know. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Froggy Fresh and Creator Clash, and signing out.